All right, how's everybody doing tonight? I've got the pin up on the board here on the right side so we can get started. We've got quite a bit to cover. I do have a handout everybody should have. We're going to go over here in a bit. We're going to go over in the presentation, actually. So we're going to go over remote WAN apps tonight in the presentation. A take-home for remote WAN app that you'll be getting with each other, setting up a time between now and next week for a take-home lab. And then network calls lab. It's going to be due week 11. We'll go over that as well. Okay? So first things first, if you go into week 9 for the lesson folder week 9, presentation I'm going to be going over tonight is in Chapter 8 folder for wireless networking, and it's called Benefits of Remote Control Software. If you want to download that, you don't have to. Also have week 9 Chapter 8 quiz, review questions as always, and then the week 9 lab you'll be submitting during your take-home when you do the take-home. Okay? So let's go ahead and go over the presentation first. And you will be going resource links on the handout I gave you in front of you on your keyboard. Benefits of remote WAN remote control software is what we're going to be going over tonight. And how many's ever used, I know we use VNC in here, but how many's ever used, besides the in-class lab, remote control software to remote control into your home PC, work PC? Anybody? A couple of you? Okay. Well, it's a huge part of networking, believe it or not. And it's utilized by many network administrators for a number of different features, a number of different reasons. It's important to understand the importance of it and how it's used to make your life more productive as a network admin, and also the end users happier that you're working for. Okay? So one of the benefits of remote apps is servers, using remote apps with servers. And let's just talk real quick, if we could, on the board here, in general sense, what remote apps do. This is the user, okay? This is you, the administrator, okay? The user has a problem on their computer. Say they cannot perform a certain function, they don't have a certain printer driver, they can't get to a certain file possibly, and you are on the other side of the campus or other side of the building or in a whole other state, and they need help. And you might be the only administrator for that company, okay? The local admin for that company. You might be in a conference, you might be in a training session somewhere in another state, and your users need help. This is where the benefits of remote WAN apps come in. So the user needs, for instance, a print driver. For some reason it's not working, the print driver or the setup process is not working on your company's printer. That's the problem. They call you, you say okay, you remote into their PC, you connect to it, and install the correct print driver, set up the printer, do a test print, ask them if they've received the test print okay in the printer. They say yes, done. Might take up as most as 5 minutes to do. The software used on your handout is a number of pieces of software that you could use to do what I've just mentioned. I've already mentioned one of these already, or a couple of these in here already. Logmein.com. This enables you to connect to a home or office PC via a WAN connection. The program allows you to easily access your PC or Mac from any WAN-connected device via laptop, desktop, pocket PC, iPhone, whatever type of phone you basically have, it's going to be able to utilize. Android phone has clients for this. The next is the actual one we're going to use for your take-home, your lab, is Teamviewer. Teamviewer has come on the scene in the last couple of years. Very efficient software for remote apps, one-time session software, apps, meaning you get a one-time session key for that remote session. So it works great for remote connectivity for help desk purposes or customer service purposes where you only have a one-time connection. Crossloop. This one is if you're interested in helping others on a more full-time basis, crossloop.com is a website you can go to set up basically an online shop to help people with their computer problems. So you can specialize in cleaning up people's computer with antivirus, malware, doing health checks. And this is a free software, a free web service. It's been around for about 5 years, has about 275,000 network admins connected to it, growing every day. Totally free to use. You can either be a user, a network admin like yourself, connect to it and say, hey, want to see what I can do to help people. And then end users can log into this crossloop.com and say, type in the word printer and get a whole list of users that are experts in setting up printers or health check or virus or malware or whatever the case may be. Or they type in computers running slow. Let me show you real quick an example of what the page looks like on Crossloop as far as a profile. Pretty cool site. If you want to go there with me, you can. Crossloop.com. So Crossloop.com, again, has been around for quite a while. It has now what's called featured services that users can get in and access. But one of the cool things is with Crossloop, let me show you real quick. I'm going to go ahead and log in. Okay, here's my Crossloop account. Okay, been on since 2008. Not used it much, but I used it to help some family members and friends over the years. But there are users that actually stay on this line, stay on all the time, around the clock, because you can charge a service fee for anything from setting up a printer, doing a health check. And what's great about it is, from the end user standpoint, or from a business standpoint, if you're doing this as a business, as a side business, you put your headsets on, log into the site, you download a client, and users connect. You can have like a free estimate, kind of like shops do, of this is what it would. I'll come in and look and see what you have a problem with, see if I can help you with it. If you can't help them, say I can't help you, but if I can, I'll help you with it. And here's what the charge would be. The service and rates you set up, and then the company, Crossloop.com, takes like a 1 or 2% margin profit, and you keep the rest. It began by using only PayPal. Now it's totally integrated with Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and you can literally make money. I've had students in this class hook up to this site and make money on the side. Within a year's time, start getting good at what they're doing, knowing how to set up printers. You can just be an expert in whatever. Doing health checks on people, installing antivirus, you name it. You put your little description here of what you can help people with. Like I put updates, Windows XP, Vista, spam, fix error messages, frozen screens, printer help, installation, blog, websites. And then you can tell them what you're an expert in. Tell a little disclaimer about yourself, information. Then it also has a service and rate tab where you can set up a service and rate tab. Whenever you get X amount of customers, you get more kickback from the fee that you charge. The more customers you get and the more positive feedback you get, the more money you make from Crossloop.com. So it's an intermediary for network administrators or just general PC people that want to make some money. It's great. The client that you download takes just seconds to download for the admin and then also for the person needing help. and it's a one-time session key like the one you're going to be using tonight using Teamviewer as your take-home. But it's a great service. I used to use this as a lab every semester, but I've switched over to Teamviewer, which uses basically the same backbone as Crossloop does. Crossloop just makes it easy for end users to find help easily. What's cool about it is, from an end user standpoint, is once you go in to the home page, you can go in here and go back to the log out page. I have to log out first. So I'm an end user, and say I want to come in here and say I need help with printer. I just type in the word printer. As soon as I type in the word printer, it's going to search for all the active users that are online right now. And it'll sort them by those who have had the most sessions and successful connections and feedback. Like this guy here has been on since 2007. He's had 1,291 sessions, 324 customers. His rating, all good. And these are all driven by customers, the ratings are. You have no manipulation power at all over the ratings. And so it tells them if they're online. As soon as they're online, you have a chat now feature where they can click chat now and begin chatting with Kenny and saying, hey, I've just bought a printer at Best Buy, don't know how to set it up, can you help me? Sure. Here's what it'll cost.
What's the Pro?
Pro is actually means he's at Pro level. He's had so many satisfied customers, they put him to Pro level. And then also he gets more money kicked back. Okay? You can also purchase different levels of service as a technician. And so if you click on this Pro level here, it actually gives you a more description. They've changed it over the years. This is like the Pro level can log into your customers' computers with one click. You can connect to multiple customers at once. Chat feature, share screen feature, no access codes at all. It's all web interface now. They don't have to download a client for the Pro feature, it looks like. This one, Pro feature, is $9.99 a month or $70 a year. You can set up for, you can start the free trial on that one. So pretty cool service. If you're wanting to make some extra money and you want to get your feet wet in networking, sign up for an account. You can sign up with a free one first to get started and then see if you like it, and then, you know, pay as you go. If you end up not liking it after a month or two, stop paying. It's only $10 a month. So you sign up for free though, doesn't cost anything. So again, something just as a resource for you. Crossloop.com. So from a server perspective, jumping back to what we were talking about, when you're connecting remote app to a server as a network admin, there's a number of features you can do. I just highlighted a few here. One is updating and fixing system issues on a server from anywhere in the world that has a web browser. From mobile device, iPad, iPhone, Droid, from any browser-enabled device, you can browse into your server and make whatever changes. From everything from what we just discussed on the page, from LogMeIn, Teamviewer, Crossloop, or VNC. Also, you can expedite issues quicker and get them closed quicker. The longer tickets are out and open on a network, the more customers feel that their system is not as up as it should be. They don't have the performance that they need, and you'll be looking for a job pretty soon. Just the way it works. So remote apps can actually save your job. To be there whenever you need to be there, even if you're not there. Okay? You'd be home at night at midnight and something happened and somebody's CEO might drop in and do something to say, hey, I need help with a printer. You mean you have to help CEOs at 12 o'clock at night sometimes? Yeah, if you're a network admin. You might have to help them at 3 in the morning sometimes. CEO. So these type of apps help tremendously. for servers. The next type of category that remote apps help with is help desk. It's a software app I've talked about. I'll mention it again. It's not on your piece of paper, but spiceworks.com has a built-in remote app component, a VNC component for intranet applications. It not only does an inventory of everything on your network, but it has a desktop component that you can tie into your login script using spiceworks.com. So when the users log into your network, they now have on their desktop an icon that you can name it whatever. We'll just say it says help. The user clicks on that icon on their desktop, it pops up a chat message, it immediately comes to your mobile phone, laptop, whatever it is you're connected to, and you can begin remoting in to help them with whatever question they might have immediately. Okay? Spiceworks has been around for about 6 years. This one's totally free to sign up for. It has a community of 750,000 network admins from around the world. At any question you might have about networking that you get stuck with, you can just go into the chat room and ask a question. I've done it. You get responses back within seconds, day or night. Doesn't matter. I've had help back from China, Germany, Japan, Hawaii, California, Florida, and then vice versa. I've helped others from other places as well on this community. So spiceworks.com is worth checking out. Yes? Spiceworks.com. Yes, I forgot the S. Spiceworks.com. Great website, great resource. They do have a pro version, but they also have a free version. Check it out. It has a built-in component for help desk, which, by the way, you don't have to use Spiceworks to use a help desk component. There's many freeware, the VNC, the Ultra VNC we've used in here. It can also be installed on every client in your network. You have it on your network laptop, mobile device, to where you can connect to any client at any moment's notice from wherever within your network. The downside to VNC is it's generally designed for intranet type of portability, meaning it only works within an intranet environment, a LAN environment. Okay? The websites like logmein.com, Teamviewer are more WAN activity, meaning you can be anywhere in the world and connect to that device, connect to those devices. The way it works for LogMeIn and Teamviewer is this. The difference between VNC and the one I just mentioned. You've got an intermediary, middleman, we'll say Teamviewer. Okay? Teamviewer, you've got computer 1, computer 2. Teamviewer will say this person's the one that needs help, and you're the one that's the helper. Okay? The help person will download Teamviewer, and they will get a one-time username and password to give to the helper. The helper then types in that code and username and password. Is actually a code as well. Code, username, and password, and then they can connect to that PC to help that user. Once they disconnect from the user, the session's over. They cannot reconnect until that user reissues another session. So it's more secure for the end user on the one needing help. And that's the setup for that. So you can see where that's more really not used much for help desk, whereas VNC works real well in the help desk environment for intranet type of applications. Okay? So in a local company, VNC works great, totally open source, ready to go out of the box. You can also use Teamviewer as well. I've used it as well in intranet environments. It works fine. So the user can get help from any location. They can be on the road, a salesperson. They can be in their cubicle. Users can get training in real time. What that means is if they need help doing something in a document or an application, instead of setting them up for a training next week, you log in immediately and help them. In IT, the best time to do things is now, not later. Because users need help now, right? They don't need help later. That's one of the first things that students and people new to networking, the learning curve, I guess, and I had to learn it myself. Like no other field, IT, from the end user's perspective, is 24/7. Okay? And why is that, you think? Why is that mentality out there? And why is it maybe a valid thing? Yes? Computers never sleep. People use them for everything. I'm not talking about just work, but as soon as they leave the door, they're doing what? Everything's electronic, right? Never without it. Like it or hate it, if you're going to be in this field, that's the way it is. Okay? And if you don't like it, you probably should look for another field. Seriously. Because I tell students right off the bat, and this network calls lab we're going to go over, you'll hear some stories from people when you call people locally about their network. And I've had students told stuff like, so you're going to go into networking? Yeah, don't do it. Been in it for 30 years, hate it. Do something else. Flip burgers at Wendy's. You don't want it. And they'll give them horror stories. And true horror stories. So it is a career that's definitely not flashy, and you get all the time to yourself and get to do whatever you want to, and it's hard work. Okay, and it's always changing and moving. I go to at least 6 or 7 trainings a year, and every training I go to, within months, the training I just went to sometimes is obsolete or going out the window, and I have to go to a new training for the same technology, but they just updated it. So it's always changing, always growing. I like that. I thrive. I like that. My personality likes that. Some students don't like that. If you don't like that, you might go into something like, my dad jokes with me about, he took Latin in school, which is a dead language, meaning it never changes. So maybe we'll go into some type of language that is dead. Okay? It's never going to change. It's always going to stay the same. Technology is not one of those creatures. In fact, there's everything I read and everything I'm research and my experience tells me that we're still in the infancy stage when it comes to technology and networking. Infancy. I mean, what we see now is nothing of what we're going to see in 5 years. As far as speed of growth, technology, change. So the reason I mention that is users need training now. Not tomorrow, not 5 minutes, but now. They have to get that sales order out. They've got to get that call in. They have to get this app out. They have to, they have to do it for their job. So these type of apps can help. Remote apps can help. Installation and updating easier. Here on campus, we use this to roll out a number of different areas where we can remote from any area, the network admins, to log into other servers on other campuses, or other computers on other campuses or other classrooms, and remote in and do updates easily using remote apps. Personal use, the last one. You can access your PC or Mac or even Linux, some of you might have Linux at home, from anywhere. You forget a file, don't need to worry about it anymore. You log into your home PC or Mac, grab the file, email it to yourself, or if you're using like Teamviewer, it has a file sharing feature right within it that you can fire up and just share files. As soon as you log into it, you can see your local C drive and your home C drive. Need access to a program you don't have at work or on the road? Log into your home PC. Use that. There's no longer the need to have everything carried with you with remote access. You can remote into whatever client you need to log into to perform whatever job it is you need to perform. All of your settings are your settings. One of the annoyances for me has always been, before remote apps came on the scene, was having to go to different computers, doesn't have the settings I have that I like on mine, that you have on your computer, you like on your computer. Everybody has different things they like, right? different way your desktop looks, or the icons where they're located on your, that's a biggie to me, where my icons are located on my desktop, the shortcuts I have set up on my keyboard commands. All these little weird things that mean a lot and also help save time to perform certain functions. And so literally I can be on my iPad and log into my work environment here on campus, to my day job as a programmer, to the location of the network admin, to my sister's PC in Oklahoma, to my brothers in Texas, to my sisters in Colorado, all within an hour's time. Log into everybody's computer and fix whatever issues they need help with and be done. So very beneficial, very helpful, and for the most part, everything I've just talked about and all these apps on the sheet, for the most part, at no cost. It doesn't cost anything to do this. And it's amazing how many students aren't really aware of it. And even network admins have been in it for years don't utilize it as much as they should. Because there's no sense in leaving your house to go to your workplace to do something on a server if you can remote into it and do it, especially if it's at midnight. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. I'm at work, I don't know about you, I'm at work long enough already. Okay? I don't want to go back. If I can remote in at the dinner table or while I'm grading papers, I can log in and fix whatever I need to fix, I'll do it. Okay? And just the nature of IT is just that. These apps actually sprung from what we're talking about, the need for being anywhere at any time. Now, are there downsides to this, you think? That's a rhetorical question, I guess. If we didn't have this, your job would not be any easier than it is now. Because I remember the days when we didn't have this, and some of you remember the days we didn't have this. It wasn't any easier. So in some ways it makes it easier. In other ways, because people know you can do it, there's a double-edged sword, I guess, to it. But it is a godsend in a lot of situations where you need to do something quickly, especially in critical situations, time-sensitive situations, to where you can't be somewhere immediately. Remoting in helps a lot to do that. And I know a number of you raise your hand that have done this. There's also commercial products where you can, use VMware to log into it, or you can log in remotely through VPN, possibly through Cisco appliances. And so a lot of different ways to do what we're talking about. I'm presenting tonight and looking at just free ways students, you guys can start playing with this stuff immediately and utilizing it. The one I've been using for a number of years, I've mentioned already, and the reason I mention it over and over again is because it's helped me so much over the years, personally and business-wise both. It's the logmein.com account, probably the most out of all of them. Because you get 5 free accounts. If you go over 5, you have to pay, but I've never had to go over 5. If you wanted to set up a separate account, you could do that and have 2 free accounts, 10 computers if you wanted to do that, I guess. You have to have a separate email, I believe. But it's not that expensive, even the entry level. I think it's like $8-9 a month or something like that. So, and you get a lot of cool stuff with that too, where you can connect to 30 computers at the same time and do updates and, from any location, and a lot of cool stuff you can do with that one. So, so personal is definitely one that I recommend you doing now and start playing with now. And that's why I have you do actually I forgot the last one. Whoop. Can't forget these guys. Family and friends. Yeah. Well, when family and friends begin to know that you're into this field, or you're into computers, you don't have to be working anywhere for networking, but just be into computers. Everybody knows it already. They're going to ask you for help, okay? You go home for vacation, visit your friends, visit your family, everybody's having fun, and you're in the back room fixing a printer or broken whatever that somebody broke, and they want you to look at it, okay? That'll happen. But this is going to help you maybe a little bit on vacations, because maybe you can do some of the stuff prior to going there using these remote apps, like doing updates, setting up printers, health checks on computers, antivirus, which can literally, as you know, take hours to do on your family's and friends' PCs and Macs that they messed up because they downloaded some program they weren't supposed to, or installed, went on a website and watched some movies they weren't supposed to, or, which I won't go there, or downloaded music they weren't supposed. I mean, the list goes on and on of things that could be done, right? And so, updates, training to your family and friends of, okay, here, let me show you how to do this so you don't have to ask me again, which they will anyway, but you can show them. And then install printers. I've had to do that a number of times. Health checks, installing antivirus. So anybody have any stories? I see some people laughing and shaking their head of what I'm mentioning here. Anybody have any stories of having to help end users, maybe using remote apps, or maybe been on vacation and you just want to share a funny story of helping a family or friend, what I mentioned? Yeah.
Back when Kazaa was becoming a wonderful distributed internet hotbox, little red box that would show up at the bottom right hand toolbar.
Right.
Back when spyware and Matrix and all that stuff was starting to become.
Right. Uh-huh.
I had remote access from Minnesota to Illinois to my dad's computer to uninstall Killbox.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a pain in the butt to get rid of.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was the time we're doing internet support in the field for Comcast
Mhm.
and installations and stuff like that.
Right.
At the time when spyware went crazy. That's
Right.
what I did for 7 months.
Wow. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, there was a time where that's all that people did. And you could find umpteen jobs doing that. Yeah.
Competitions with like the biggest not spybot, it was Adaware.
Right.
The largest number you get, the largest I had was 74,000 entries.
Ouch. Yeah.
On a Windows 98 machine. And every time you looked at it, you had 30, 40 pop-up on it.
Oh my goodness.
And
Yeah.
it came in,
Yeah. Anybody else have a story? Yeah.
I think I'm related to every happy clicker out there.
Okay. Yeah, we all have a few in our family.
And I absolutely have to get this for my mother because I'm so overtrained to explain to 65-year-old women how to update the computer.
Okay. So you
I'm
can do
very
something?
appreciative, yes.
Yes, you'll do this. It's helped my mom. My mom got into computers before she died, about 5 years before she passed. She wanted to scan photos, family photos, bring them in, made a website and everything. She was doing great in that area, but updates, antivirus, stuff like that. She didn't have any business trying. Well, she didn't have a business trying it because I tried like you to help her learn how to do it, and I gave that up real quick and just started remoting in once a week to do stuff for her, and so which she was appreciative of. But yeah, you're right. It will help you with your family and friends as well, doing this, and work associates that you might help outside of, because being in IT, you will help people that are not with non-work related issues. Okay. I mentioned earlier CEOs, right? CEOs are prone to have you come over to their house and help them do whatever from, say they just got Comcast Wi-Fi and they just go, I got this Wi-Fi stuff, I don't know what that is. Can you come over and help me? I don't know what to do. Yeah. But the great thing about CEO is they make a little bit more than you do usually, and you generally get a little kickback for that. So that's usually not a bad thing. And so, no, a lot of times these things will help you with your family and friends, the remote apps.
Only if they listen to
No, they won't do that. They won't do that. It won't happen.
My brother
No.
called me a month ago and kept telling me every time I turn my computer on, I get this blue screen and then it shuts off.
Yeah, no, I gave up on them trying to listen or understand. So remote, they don't have to with a remote app. They don't have to understand. You just log in and do it, and it's ready to go. Okay, let's go to the network calls. I want to skip this one and come back to I want to do the take home last because it's going to take a bit. Network calls. It's been out there a while. It's in week 9. The network calls lab. If you click on this link, it says do week 11. This is week 9, so you have 2 weeks to do this. Let me bring up the document. Here's what it is. Every semester, students from this class call local businesses to find out some information about their network. Granted, many times as you ask these questions, they won't know what you're talking about and won't have a clue, and that's fine. And granted, a lot of times when you call them, they will encourage you to basically get out of the field. Don't think about it, okay? But there have been instances where students have called and gotten job leads, so that's a good thing too. So this does help you a couple ways. One is understanding what we have locally, network-wise, the knowledge base of those who work in the field, and thirdly, networking in general, just people skill networking with users in the community. So what you're going to do the next couple weeks, I always tell students to get a list of about 20, 30 numbers, everywhere from medical, financial institutions like doctor's offices, local clinics, if you have an insurance agent that you can do it with them, local Pepsi company, Coca-Cola company, any company you can think of, large or small. You get a list of names and numbers, and I tell students at least 20 minimum, because the hopes is to get at least 2 or 3 kickback results out of that 20, okay? So here's the script. You're going to call and ask for the network admin, or the assistant, or IT administrator, or assistant. Now, even though you ask for all of these, the first one you want to ask for is network admin always. Hi, my name is Chuck Conkle from Rock Valley College. I'm a student, and I'm needing to talk to the network administrator. I don't know what you're talking about. How about IT person, IT assistant, IT administrator, computer guy? Yeah, that's fine. But you always want to start out with professional title, okay? You don't want to say computer dude, IT dude, okay? There's a story of one of the guys here recently had an interview with a former student that every other word was dude. I haven't heard dude in years. I don't know the last time I even heard dude. But anyway, don't say dude and when you call. Does anybody even say dude anymore? You say dude, I'm sorry, okay. I didn't want to offend you. All right. So find out the official title. When you get to the final person, whoever that might be, when they get on the line, if they get on the line, you say, hello, my name is Chuck Conkle, network student from Rock Valley College. What's your name? Or may I ask your name? They say, my name is Fred Jones. Now, you can tell by the tone of a person's voice if they're more laid back or professional. If they're quick to answer things, I put in here first person. Might be more professional, definitely, to say Mr. or Miss, Mr. Jones. I've been asked to call. Now, this is important. You're stroking their ego here. I've been asked to call 5 top businesses and ask the makeup of their network environment. This is supposed to help me understand how networks are used by top businesses in a real-world setting. Could I ask you 7 questions about your network? Pause, that's crucial. Pause is crucial. Anybody been in sales before knows that's a crucial moment. Pause is a crucial. Silence. No, I really don't have time. Or, yeah, that'd be great. Now, if they say no, I don't have time right now, say, would you mind if I emailed you the questions? Would that be okay? 9 times out of 10, that'll be fine for most of them. Now, the catch is a lot of times that when you email them the questions, they won't respond. But at least you've asked them, okay? So, say that they do go ahead with the call and they take a few moments. Say, if they ask you how long it's going to take, say maybe 5-10 minutes at the most. Okay, I'm going to make it as quick as possible. If they say yes, thank you for their time. I'm going to keep it very short, very quick. If they say no, thank you for their time, or you can ask them for the email. Now, here's the first question. Does your network use Ethernet, token ring, or both? If they say, I don't know, write down, I don't know. You're not helping them any, you're just asking questions, okay? What's the transmission speed of your network? They might say 100 megabits per second, gigabit per second. Whatever it is they say, they might say, I don't know. Whatever it is they say, put it down. Now, if they say, I don't know, say, that's okay. Let's go on to the next question. You don't need to linger on any of the questions. What type of backbone does your network rely upon? Could say Cat5, could say fiber optic, could say Cat5 fiber optic. Whatever it is they say, you write it down. What type of wiring does your network use? Is it the same type for your backbone? Is it the same type for the backbone as workstations? So they might say, well, we use fiber from server to server, server to switch, and on the PCs we use Ethernet. Do you use WAN technologies? What topologies in each location and how are they arranged? Okay. If money was no object, what type of upgrades would you make to your network? If you only had enough money for one of these upgrades, what would it be? So you'll do this with each user. You'll thank them for their time after the questions. And out of the 20, you will probably get back at the most. If you get back 2 good results, that's great. That's fine. Okay? Most students for this one get back on average 3 out of 20 calls. That's usually the average. That's pretty good. Because you're cold calling. You don't know them, they don't know you. Getting back 2 or 3 out of 20 is pretty good. Okay? Now, if you get 1, you might add a few numbers to that list. Or if you only get 1 and say it's next Thursday, and you've only got 1 by next Thursday, let me know. I have some people I know locally that will give you 1 or 2 more. But I'm going to try to let you do it on your own between now and next Thursday. Now, students always ask at this juncture, well, the college, which is funny, I give my salary for it. The network folks here on campus, Mike Erickson, very helpful. He knows I do this every semester. You can email him, m.erickson@rockvalleycollege.edu, m.erickson@rockvalleycollege.edu. Yes, he will help you. He loves doing it. He's been here 35 years. Great guy. He plays Santa every year. This is his season. He looks like Santa. Does anybody know Mike Erickson? This guy's, I'd like to have, he leaves by noon. He comes in at 4 in the morning, leaves by noon. But he's done that for 20 years here. But anyway, he's a great guy. I got to know him when I was IT manager here. And we used to go to lunch every day. And every Christmas, he goes to the Belvedere overpass, him and his wife. And they sit there in the overpass because everybody's, you know, traveling. Kids are screaming, crying because parents are dragging them to Uncle Andy's and Grandma Joe's, and you know they shove a burger down their throat and they're shoving them through the hallway to get to the next, you know, place. Right? Everybody's been there. It's normal family stuff. Anyway, Mike and his wife sit there. He's dressed up in Santa. Mike's a big guy, has a white beard, natural white hair. Wears a Santa suit. He looks like Santa. I mean, he just looks like him. Anyway, they buy these dolls every year, and we help them buy these dolls to give to these kids because he gives a doll to every kid, and they get cars for the boys and dolls for the girls, I think, now. And he gives one to every kid, and the kids get to take pictures with Santa, so it's kind of cool. He does that every year. That's out of the kindness of his heart. And so Mike is a great guy. He will definitely help you with these questions. And he might be a little sarcastic, but that's just Mike. That's the way he is. He'll give you a hard time, too. But Mike's a great guy. So Mike Erickson would help you. Local other companies I know that have helped students in the past. Pepsi company here in town. Pepsi, there's a number, like 2 or 3 locations. You call any of them, they're pretty helpful. Coca-Cola, same way. Trying to think of where else. OSF clinics, not the hospital, but the clinics, like, trying to think a good, okay, Rockford Cardiology on Roxbury. You've got orthopedic, Rockford Cardiology. Trying to think of where else. Those 2 I know for sure. Physicians Immediate Care. You've heard of them maybe? Physicians Immediate Care. There's a number of locations in Rockford, Belvedere, both, like 6 of them. You can call any of their locations. They're pretty good at helping students as well with these questions. So there's a number of them to get you started, just off the top of my head. What I'm going to do with the data after this is I put together a spreadsheet of your responses, and you kind of we go over that like on week 12 of everybody's responses and your experiences and some of the feedbacks you had, positive, negative, some things you found that was interesting. And so it's a great assignment to kind of get to know folks a little bit. Also understand, again, like I said, the networks that we have locally here, the knowledge base of those folks that work there. because some of these people you talk to maybe have no schooling whatsoever. They have no training. They maybe been at the place for years. The networks run fine, but they just might not have any lingo down or technology lingo down, which is fine. And so, those are generally really the ones that are most helpful sometimes. The ones that, like last semester, a student called and the guy basically kept him on the phone for about 15 minutes complaining about his day and needed somebody to rant with, I think, for a while. That will happen, by the way. At least out of one of the 20, you'll get that. Somebody will dump on you a little bit. So just if that happens, just take it and take it in. Yes, shove it down deep. Shove it down deep. Just don't let it come up. Take it in. It'll help them. You might you're free counseling basically for 10 minutes while they rant and rave about something. That's going to happen probably. So with what you can do is when the students on the passage, this documents here in week 9, you can just basically update, create the question or put the answers in. The one thing I don't have up here, I've been meaning to put up here and I haven't in 12 years, is the name of the company. If you could put that up there, that'd be great. I never put that up there. Students usually fill it in for me anyway, but yeah, if you could put the name of the company up there somewhere before my name is somewhere, that'd be great. You can print it out, but I don't like to print these stuff out. You can just do it within your computer while you're calling them. Trying to think of what else. That's it. Any questions? 2 weeks. And I'll ask you again next Thursday how you're doing. If you sit down and do this, you can probably do it in one setting. If you have 20 numbers, you could probably knock it out if you have an afternoon to do this and get it done, in an hour, hour and a half, maybe at the most. That would be max, probably, get it over with. It's up to you. Yeah, I would say strive for that. That's your goal. If you get 2 out of 20, that's fine. That'll work. That's great. Because some of you are going to be better at talking to people than others, and I understand that. That's fine. So email might be. I've had some students actually ask me, can I just ask them if I could email them? Would that be okay? If you want to do that, that's fine. You might actually get more responses, possibly. I don't know. Okay? So it's up to you. However you feel comfortable, whatever you feel comfortable doing. All right? But I would encourage you, even if you're a little timid, to try this verbal back and forth between network admins, because it'll help you. It'll be a good learning thing for you if you've not done it before, if you've not done any kind of cold calling with people. It can be kind of scary, maybe, some of you, but you'll do fine. Every semester, each student gets at least 2, on average 3 responses. So, do what now? So somebody gets 7 or 8. Okay.
Now when I don't come up with 7.
All right. Okay, so that's 2 weeks. You got to play with that. That's in week 9, and you can. I'll ask you again next Thursday how you're doing. The next one is the week 9 lab. There is 2 links in here. One is the take-home lab, which is a PDF file. The second one is just a URL to a tutorial on Teamviewer. But let me open up this take-home lab one that you'll be doing together. This is just a step-by-step on how to use Teamviewer. You're going to download it first at home. Walks you through the step of how to do that. Once you set it up and install it, I'll scroll down to that step, the actual take-home lab part. On step 6, I'll talk about that before the actual take-home lab issue. It says now that you've chosen either to connect to a remote computer, in which case the remote computer must also have the same setup process and you gave them ID and password in the blue fields. You can create a session using the ID they provided you, or you can have someone connect to you remotely, in which case you will provide them with the ID and password you get on your screen. So basically when you set this up, you're going to get a screen that looks like this. I'll scroll up a little bit. Okay, in fact I've got it here on mine, I believe, because I use it for my iPad sometimes. They got a client for the iPad. So that's what it looks like. Okay. So see the your ID and password. This is what you would give. Say I was needing help with something, and I emailed you and said, okay, here's my ID and here's my password. I put this in the email to you. Or you can call the person and say, hey, I'm online at 7 o'clock tonight. Call me, and I'll give you the ID and password, however you want to do it. I've had students do the call thing and the email thing, however you feel comfortable doing. So but both of you are going to have this up in front of you. I'm the person who needs help. I give you my ID and password. You're the person helping. You click the connect button.
Those numbers change every different time?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I've had them actually, now somebody's already connected. Who's connected back there? Who is? You are, okay. Oh, did you? Okay.
I didn't set it up to do my computer.
Do it to the test computer.
Do what now?
You can hook up to the test computer.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to basically, when you type in the ID and you hit connect, it'll prompt you for a password, and then that's when you type in the password. So if you're my helper and I give you my ID and password in an email or phone, right, you're going to type in my ID, hit connect, type, and then it'll prompt you for password. And then on my end, I'll get a little prompt that'll say, so-and-so is trying to connect. You want them to come in? Yes. Or I have mine set up to where the new version, basically the ones you guys are downloading, does not give me a prompt. You just write into the computer and you can start doing stuff. So let me show you here real quick. Boom. Here's the lab. It's going to be pretty easy. You're going to get with somebody before you leave here. Find out a good time to get together in the next week. You'll provide each other with an ID and password during that session. Probably the easiest way for some of you is going to be just to call each other during this session. Just say, okay, I'm online. Do you have it running? Yes, here's my ID password. No, or you can email each other, however you want to do it. Calling, but most students choose to do. Or text. Now you text, right? You text the information to each other. So you're going to log in. Now you can do more than this. This is just what I want you to do as an instructor. But if you literally need help doing something or wanting them to help you with something, which I've had students use this lab for this purpose, you can have them do more than what I have you do here. But one thing I ask you not to do is don't do any damage, please, to the person's computer. All right? Be nice. Okay? Start Notepad, type in your first and last name, save it to your desktop, save it as this first initial last name remote.txt, set their home browser to rockvalleycollege.edu, not a pornography site, please. End the session. I've had students, believe it or not, try that. Then, once you've ended the session, then you're going to send to the Dropbox subject line Teamviewer and what your experience was. So yeah, they logged in. Pretty cool, worked like a charm. They helped me set up a printer. They did whatever. Worked great. Here's what I thought of it. Okay? Once it's set up on your PC or your Mac, you can keep it there. You don't need to delete it because you might use it for future purposes to help your family and friends or whatever the case may be. Okay? Questions on this? So let's get with each other real quick. Find out a good time to do this. Look at somebody and go, oh yeah, I'm helping you, or I need your help. Okay, I need your help. You gotta help me with a printer. Right, so let's do it. Let's do it, let's do it. You too? Yeah, sure, Natalie says sure. She needs help, she needs your help.
No, Thursday morning.
I'm not going there. Do what? Oh yeah. Oh, is this TeamViewer on there? Sweet. Now this is a Droid, right?
That's Droid 2.
Yeah, I've never played with the Droid app, so that's cool.
Push the little mouse
Oh.
pad.
This one?
No,
Oh,
this pad.
mouse pad. Oh, okay.
And then up
Oh, and it's got the
into
windows.
your episodes.
Oh, okay. You got your start button. So you click on, okay.
And then if you want the mouse, you gotta touch the little mouse thing, it'll bring it up, and then your finger drags it across the screen.
Oh, okay. I think I'm over.
Get the magnifying glass, you probably got
Oh.
the screen too big. Slide it all the way to the left.
Yeah, thank you, thank you, appreciate that. No, that's great out for some reason. I think it's because I have the start button. That's cool.
Well, that's what I like, because you can even, that's not the one I wanted. Control Alt Delete it, or
There you go.
reboot it,
Yep,
and it just kicked me off.
it just kicked you out.
So that's awesome.
Sweet. Cool, cool. Correct. Yeah, both. Yep. Yep. Yeah, both. You guys will both log in each other's computer. Okay, you guys get a time to do this? Okay, good. Did you get somebody? You got somebody? You got somebody? All right, you guys set over there? Okay. All right, so you have until, now let me see here real quick. Let me change something here if I haven't already. Because it's Thursday and I know some of you might not be able to do it before the weekend's up, so let me change the due date on this real quick. Hang on just a second. Let's see. I'll change, if it's Sunday, I'm going to change it to next Thursday for that one. So for this one, should have been that one anyway. Okay, so that's for next, I've set that for next Thursday, this week 9 lab for next Thursday. You're good to go there. All right, so everybody got a time? Yep. Got your contact information swapped? Because you're going to connect to each other. Please don't do any damage to each other's PC. Be nice. Or Max, in Natalie's case. All right, and we're done. If you have any questions, come see me before you leave. I will have grades updated by tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give you that home.
Well, that's why they have the entire problem there. Right. Well, I would say anytime
Yeah.
Oh, so normally classes are in session over there.
Yeah, we're definitely staying after dark because during daytime I'm still kind of. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Play around with it, I know.
Yeah, I think it looks cool.
Now, the one that's the 139, it's got